Hello everyone, Jason and Alea back here again, and today we're going to be ranking all 6 Jurassic Park films from worst to best. Now, my list will not match yours. Yours could be completely different, and just to let you know, I enjoy all these movies. There's not one that I dislike, but there are some that I like more than others, so that's why I'm making a list. And I want to update my thoughts on certain movies, and yeah, I just want to do this for fun after Dominion. Now, coming up at number 6, we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, this is not the most entertaining, this is probably the most dour film of the franchise, and it's not the most rewatchable in my opinion, but it is beautifully directed by J.A. Bayona. The cinematography is excellent. This is one of the better looking films in the Jurassic Park franchise. Like, the camera work and everything, the visual storytelling is on point. The characters are pretty fun, but the tone feels really off. The dark tone of J.A. Bayona mixed in with the controversial of fun aspect of Jurassic World just don't mesh as well as I thought it did when I first saw it. The whole weaponizing dinosaurs is pretty stupid. And honestly, the villains are really weak and had a lot of missed opportunities to make really engaging characters. Because this is the first time a human villain, kills in a Jurassic Park film. Like, he actually kills with his own hands. But yeah, all that dragged the film down, but it's still pretty entertaining in some cases. The Eva Nublar stuff is fun, but overall, while I can enjoy this film and I like how it's set up a new idea in the franchise going forward, I still think it is probably the least entertaining in the movie I'll probably least go back to. But yeah, it's a movie I find okay, but it's not the best in my opinion. Coming up at number 5 though, we have Jurassic Park 3. I know a lot of people will put this film last, and I understand why. This film feels like a side film. It felt like a spin-off. It doesn't really impact the story all that much. There's a few very, very dumb scenes like the raptor talking. But overall, I find this movie to be more entertaining than Fallen Kingdom, and probably one of my most nostalgic Jurassic Park film. This is the one I went to the most as a kid for some reason. The dinosaur fights are all pretty awesome. The special effects and animatronic, while don't mix as well as the first 2 movies, still look pretty good for its time, except in a few cases where it could feel or look rough. The story itself is simple. It just feels like a straightforward dinosaur B movie. And looking at the movie in that perspective, it doesn't do anything offensive to the entire overall franchise. It just continues what we know before, but doesn't do anything new. It's just a rescue mission on an island full of dinosaurs, and characters have to get out and survive dinosaurs. That's basically it. There's no progress to the story, which is one of my biggest problems with the film, but it's also kind of a positive for it because of its short runtime, it could go by fast, and the problems don't last with you for a whole while. It just feels like a quick, fun time for me, and overall I can still have fun with this film at times. Coming up at number 4, we have Jurassic World. This is the first Jurassic Park film I ever saw in the theater. This is probably my most anticipated film ever at the time. Like, I was anticipating a Jurassic Park 4 forever, ever since I was a kid. And I always wanted a 4th movie. I used to see fan-made trailers and posters for a Jurassic Park 4, and when this film finally came out, it was like a dream come true for me. Now, over the years, I come to be more critical of films, especially during the time this film came out, so the military subplot of weaponizing raptors was really dumb to me, and still is to this day. But overall, it's a really entertaining film that's a whole lot of fun. Controversial style is all over this thing. It harkens back to the first film while creating an identity of its own pretty well. Its final act is really fun. Chris Pratt gives a really fun performance here, and overall, I have a really good time with this film every time I watch it. It's not the best. It's one of the more middest of the movies for me, but still a really enjoyable time that I could highly recommend. Coming up at number 3, this is not one I have in 4K, it just came out, is Jurassic World Dominion. This I found even more entertaining. Controversial style is still all over this thing. The story does feel choppy, and I hope the extended edition does add back in that prologue and a few extra scenes throughout the film to make the pacing feel a bit more consistent, because there are times where it can feel very choppy, and I feel like that extended edition will help my problems and will enhance my experience of the film even more. But overall, I still have a fun time with this film. Seeing the old cast return and come together with a new cast at the end is really fun to watch. All the stuff that was set up in Fallen Kingdom was paid off, and some loose ends from other films before were also paid off, like the relationship between Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm throughout the entire franchise, Claire and Owen's character arcs throughout these 3 films. Overall, this film does conclude the characters' stories all very well. I wish the ending could have been a little bit longer. I hope that the final battle will be enhanced with that prologue being at the back end in the extended cut. Coming up at number 2, though, we have The Lost World Jurassic Park. Now, this to me is the scariest Jurassic Park film. It's the one that could almost classify as more of a horror movie than any of the other films in the entire franchise. It's darkly lit. It has a more dreaded attitude, a more sadistic attitude to it, and I love that about this film. There are barely any moments of awe-inspiring moments except for the Stegosaurus' first appearance in the film. Other than that, every other scene with all the dinosaurs, even the herbivores, are very territorial, very dangerous. You feel like you're in this lost world with these characters trying to survive every dinosaur attack. It progresses the story from the first very well and very convincingly for myself. I've always loved The Lost World. The only problems I ever had were the gymnastics scene and the pacing to get to San Diego. It felt like there were a few deleted scenes cut out in that part and should be added back in to make it much better. Overall, I still have a very fun time with The Lost World, and it is one that, and this is the one that introduced me to the entire Jurassic Park franchise in the first place. I remember seeing the Peter Ludlow scene, as I explained in my Lost World review, and being already a fan of this movie. And yeah, go watch The Lost World. It's one of the most underrated movies of all time. I love it to death. You should check it out. But coming up at number 1 is the first Jurassic Park. It's no question. Like, I love The Lost World, but the first one is a perfect movie. Despite the errors in with the hand in the egg, in the hand on the raptor. Ignore all that. This film's story is a cautionary tale of man tampering with nature and nature biting man in the back, and all the dinosaurs going loose because of human ignorance, despite good intentions. It's a really, really good film, a really entertaining blockbuster that has more to say and portrays its message in such a way that's able to be digestible to its audience. It can stick in their head, but it never lets go of the entertainment value at the same time. And all the dinosaur action is excellent. The visual effects and music is going to be timeless. The directing from Spielberg is at its best here in my opinion. This is my favorite movie of all time and what got me into films, and that is why it's at number 1. I'm a bit biased because of that, but kill me, okay? I love Jurassic Park. It's my favorite movie of all time, and I don't think any movie is gonna ever top it for me, especially in a nostalgic level. Thank you guys for watching my ranking of the films. I hope you enjoyed my tangent on this franchise. I love this franchise to death, and I can't wait to see more Jurassic Park content in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.